In the wake of our government kidnapping another country's president, openly bragging about stealing Venezuela's oil, Trump is crying about a Nobel Peace Prize, but something else is obvious. There is no plan beyond this chaotic looting. There's no plan to run the country, no plan to fix Venezuela, no plan for self-determination. It's the same recycled idea dressed up like it's new. Squeeze a country, grab the oil, act surprised when nothing improves, and then blame everyone else for the mess. But this time, this is the straight to VHS fourth sequel that nobody wanted. Let's get the basics out of the way right here. I'm Josh. This is Ring of Fire Weekends. Venezuela, we know that they've been broken for a while. Years of corruption, authoritarianism, and economic mismanagement, it ruined the country. Millions of people fled out of the country. Infrastructure has collapsed there. Hospitals don't function the way they should. Power outages everywhere. Food insecurity. It's widespread. The government under Maduro earned its reputation. That part's not controversial at all. That's the easy part. And right now, what the Trump administration is selling as a plan is nothing more than rushed talking points. No one knows how long we're going to be there, how Miller's actually going to run the country. Sanctions, seizures, blockades, crude oil being redirected. It's a lot of tough language about strength and resolve, but it seems a lot more like a PowerPoint pitch that never got beyond slide 2. Venezuela, we know, their oil is the entire game here. Trump's just said it out loud, which is bizarre to me. It's the one thing that could actually fund this whole thing is their oil. If we took control of their oil, we could actually maybe give those profits back to the people of Venezuela and fix their broken country. We could fix the issues that Venezuela had. Instead, Venezuela oil is being sold under our supervision, under U.S. supervision, and the proceeds are being held outside of Venezuelan control. And they're not even being routed through the U.S. Treasury. That's right, Trump let the oil executives know before and after, before Congress knew. Then they kidnapped a president, and now they're going to sell Venezuela's oil through offshore accounts. This is all out in the public. It means Venezuelans don't get to decide how their primary national resource gets used. And we Americans, we're not going to benefit either. We all know someone's going to benefit. Someone always does. We've got private energy, we've got financial intermediaries, offshore structures. They are all going to benefit from this. Don Jr. probably. Who knows? This is the same class of people who somehow show up at every liberation project with a clipboard and an invoice. It's remarkable how often we go into a country saying we're going to help it. And when we do, we cut out their own future. Meanwhile, Trump and his goons, they're acting like they had this moral duty to punish bad actors and force change. Except we also have to recognize that this oil trade doesn't operate in a vacuum. We know that it's going to send shockwaves across the globe. Civilians are going to feel them immediately. Prices are going to be all over the place. Jobs are going to disappear, services are going to collapse, and governments, meanwhile, are going to adapt. And some of them are even going to take advantage of the situation. Because why? The oil's still moving. Buyers are still buying. Ownership is getting buried under layers of shell companies and all sorts of red tape. Meanwhile, the elites are adjusting. The world's going to take on the shock. And people like Donald Trump and his friends are going to get rich off of it. That's the dirty secret here. None of this is airtight. We know that the Trump administration, they're not surgical about anything. And here's the bind that no one is saying out loud, though. If the U.S. tightens its enforcement enough to actually shut things down, a real blockade, no leaks, no financial side deals, you're going to collapse what's left of Venezuela's economy. There will be a humanitarian crisis that we haven't seen, and it's going to dare that whole region to deal with the fallout. You know Stephen Miller's not going to take care of it, so that's going to invite escalation. Escalation from other global players who would love nothing more than another proxy war and another proxy mess in the Western Hemisphere. We've seen it. Russian ships are already trying to run the blockade. Iran has an entire crypto department in their government designed for them to get around sanctions. But let's look on the other hand. If you don't tighten things, you keep doing this half-ass routine that the Trump administration's known for, then the sanctions and everything, it's going to turn into a slow bleed with no payoff. It's just going to cost American taxpayers more money, and Venezuelans are going to suffer. Oil's still going to keep flowing. The government's going to survive. It's the people who are going to suffer. And this policy, whatever it is, limps along forever because no one is going to admit that Trump was wrong and it's not working. So here's what is missing here. If you really wanted to take Maduro out, you need a credible reconstruction framework. Of course, we didn't have that in Afghanistan, we didn't have that in Iraq, and there's none now in Venezuela. There's no framework, there's no serious plan that's tying sanctions relief to rebuilding infrastructure. There's no transparent mechanism guaranteeing any of this revenue will fund schools or hospitals or utilities. It's just going to disappear into offshore fog. There's no realistic diplomatic pathway to turn this pressure into stability. It's just going to be another prolonged limbo. Trump even said it the other day to New York Times. He has no idea how long we're going to be there. So now we just have a bunch more chest thumping from Trump and a vague promise that once this bad guy's gone, everything else is going to be fine. And we know how that ends. We've seen it before. It plays out over and over again. Venezuela's resources are not being used for Venezuelan self-determination. They weren't under Maduro, and under the current approach under Trump and Stephen Miller, they risk being controlled indefinitely by private interests from outside their country. And again, we aren't benefiting either. This is just taxpayer-funded propping up of billionaires. It doesn't stabilize energy prices. It doesn't strengthen long-term leverage. It doesn't make us stronger in our Western Hemisphere. It's not giving us leverage, and it's not producing democracy. All it does is produce churn. And churn is always going to only be profitable for the same people that it's always been. Thanks for watching that video. Be sure to like and share it all over the place. And then during the week, catch Jared. I'll be back next weekend with more Ring of Fire weekends. Be sure to like and subscribe.